I'm going to be doing a bruise demonstration on Sushi's arm. Probably this isn't actually the most ideal place to do a bruise because no one really bangs their arm like that here, but for demonstration purposes it's quite good. When doing a bruise you have to think about the type of things is how it's happened. If there's any blood in the area, obviously you wouldn't have any bruising then. And also what colour bruises are, because the older bruises, they tend to be like yellowy, more yellowy, greeny. Newer, bigger bruises probably a bit reddy. You'll see like purple, almost black sometimes in there. But today I'm just going to be doing like a yellowy, greeny sort of thing. And I'm using my grease palette, which is really messy, so don't get this in shot. Grease is probably not ideal. If you were going to be doing something where she's in water, don't use grease. I'm just using grease so obviously you can take off when you get home. You're not stuck with a bruise on your arm. I often start with sort of yellows first, and you just sort of play it by ear. And if you look at bruising, a lot of it is not exactly dead round, so you have to be careful not to make it look symmetrical, because obviously no bruise is symmetrical. I tend to kind of get like a base of sort of one shade, like the yellowy greeny that I'm doing, and then add in obviously on top the purples if I want it to be a bit more. I mean, with grease it's easy to do bruising with grease because obviously I can actually move it around with my fingers. Sorry, this light. And obviously bits on bruising, some bits that are darker than others, be aware of that. Some bits will have reddier bits in, some will be more yellow. Also we've got a special sponge actually, it's called a stipple sponge, which I'll use in a minute. That's really good because you get, it's all about textures with bruising. If you look really carefully at bruising, you often get little like dots of like red and like trapped blood. It's a bit grimy. I'm sort of, with a small brush, I'm sort of just stippling in a bit of purpley red just to make it look a bit of impact. I'm often changing brushes. It really is with bruising, you just sort of got to play it by what it looks like. All the time. You can see how easily with grease I can just literally, if I don't like a bit I've done, I just literally just rub it off. And it's quite good to like blend with grease as well. I think that's looking pretty nasty. I'm just really lightly stippling in some darker colours just to give it a bit of depth as such. But you have to be careful if you're picking like a specific area where you have to think about where the main impact is. And I've sort of opted for like here, this main like dark bit, where the main impact it would be. I think I'm getting a bit carried away and making this bruise really big. So the lighting, what's that looking like? Is that looking bruisey? That's the thing with grease. Obviously, if this was, I was going to use this on like a camera, grease is really not the good thing to use because it's well, greasy, yes, so it does get shine. But I'll powder it and see if that makes a difference. But if I was going to do this for real, I would use my £84.95 palette. The thing with bruising is it's actually hard because the more you look at it, the more you think, well, that bit doesn't look right. Yes. I think if you just take it as a whole, out of context, because you sort of get lost in it.
It does look like a bruise.
But I mean, it does, yeah.
It does. It does.
I might just add a bit more green and then I think I'm done. Because it's the yellow as well that is quite important. But you see how I've tried to avoid, it's actually, the human mind always wants to do everything symmetrically. It's so hard thinking, no, because I've done a bit here, I've done a bit here, yes. So I've tried to make that bigger. It's really hard to stop being so symmetrical in your mind, because obviously bruising isn't symmetrical. I'm going to powder it. I'm going to powder it and we'll just see if that makes a difference on camera. The thing with the powdering over grease is the fact that And I've got shiny powder. I've got glitter in my powder, have I? Have I got glitter in my powder?
I can't see anything.
Can you see glitter?
No,
You can't see it on
not on that
monitor.
side. You might be able to see it on like the OD unless it's got
To be honest though, actually, if you do actually research bruises, some are actually shiny. You get actually get a sheen over some bruise. I think the worst
Depends on the
bruise,
skin.
if they're really reddy purpley, you do actually get like a sheen. Yeah, research is just like you have to really know what you're doing. But can I just stand back and have a look? Sorry. I think that looks pretty good.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean that was so quick. To me that's just
10
nothing.
minutes.
Seriously,
you
sort of
are using
hardly any
colour.
colour. You literally
Wow.
you dab and you just blend.
Amazing.
But it's all about like layering up and different textures and stuff. I mean that's quite a big bruise for that area. That wouldn't really be there on that bit of the arm. That would probably be more like an elbow. Someone's knocked their elbow, or maybe here. But just for demonstration, it's just easier if it's there. But no, that looks like a knee thing. Something here, you know, and it goes that sort of colour.